Coming to you live from Cadena Brothers Pizza, Van Dyke Mortgage presents The Forge with your hosts Nate Smith and Mario Flores. Take it away, guys.
Hello, Iron Nation. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of The Forge Podcast. We're pretty excited to be here live at Cadena Brothers Pizzeria, getting some all-you-can-eat pizza down here tonight. I want to shout out to my co-host, Mr. Flores right here, Mario Flores with Van Dyke Mortgage. Go with Mario, one of our big sponsors. And so, yeah, we're excited to get ready and dive right in. Anything you're excited to talk about today?
I am excited to talk about everything today. We got a lot of good stuff this next 10 days for sure.
Yeah, big couple weeks coming up. So let's just go week in review, the rewind of our previous game to kind of piggyback on what we talked about last week. I had written down my prediction. My prediction for our game was 68-13. The final score was 62-17. So offense let me down a little bit. One more score would have helped me out. Defense, Josh Fusco gave up a touchdown late in the game. Otherwise, I would have won my bet MGM. He might talk about that a little bit later. So Mr. Fusco's in the house. He will be talking with us later. So, but final score 62-17. What are your initial thoughts on the game?
Well, unfortunately, I was at a banquet. Well, it was good. It was for my wife's work, and I had a great time at the banquet. So I was trying my hardest not to be on the phone, but I was on the phone the whole time. And when Ethan texted me, he said it's 35-15. I'm like, I'm not going to win the 3-touchdown thing. I predicted we'd win by 3 touchdowns, but I was like, okay, this is a game. Let's go, So I was on it, and I was excited. I ended up getting there in the last 40 seconds of the game. That took 10 minutes, and then we scored a few more touchdowns. But there was a couple hits. I saw a lot of, I looked at the video. It was a lot of hits. Fusco had a massive hit, getting over 100,000 views right now. I thought Bo Shanks could hit hard, and you guys all know how I feel about Bo. But Josh, well, he's a truck. He can knock the hell right out of you. So yeah. I'm excited about what happened with the game. And we'll talk more about how that about.
Yeah, the game. I think the game started off. I think, to be honest, I think our guys were a little lethargic coming out of the gate, and some of that I do think had to do with some of the chaos that kind of was going on in the tunnel. The other team trying to get helmets, the other team trying to do this. I think it impacted our focus. But once we really got going, I think our guys. I never felt like we were in jeopardy of a loss. I never felt like they were going to be that close. I just feel like our guys, I especially thought that coming out of halftime, guys coming by in the tunnel, you can see in their eyes that they were not happy with what they kind of way they performed in the first half. And so
let me ask you something on that.
I knew that was going to take place.
Off script. But when you say that, do you say that you always say what you feel, and that's one of the things I love about it. That's not a form of being cocky. Like, we're not being cocky. Like, we're beating teams, and we got a good team. Mm-hmm. But I have said publicly, hey, I think our team is really good. It's not the Ironmen that was before, but we are very good. Our defense is solid, and we have some tweaking of our own stuff to do, even when the score is lopsided.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how we've been around football together for a long time, and I stats and stuff. I love the numbers and looking into the numbers, but I go by feel. Like, I can feel the game, kind of feel what's going on. Even when I was coaching high school football, like, I can't look back and remember what the score was, but I remember feeling like, man, we were in control that whole game, or man, we got to really get that stuff together. And so you can just feel it. I think it's just kind of the way that I kind of approach those type of things. And I could tell when we came off the field, our guys' eyes were locked in. They looked disappointed. They looked frustrated. And I think I did look up at the score at one point. I'm like, oh, I guess this is a little closer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, and again, no disrespect to the Muskies. I think they had some talent on their team. I think, but I think some of the challenges that they faced, they had some guys that weren't there. I think they obviously, we can talk a little bit later about some of the uniform things and the equipment things, and organizational strategies don't necessarily always win you games, but I think disorganization can really hurt you. And I do think that played into our slow start, because it started off 7. We went up 7-0, then they had a field goal. Then we went up 14-3, had another score, and then they came back and scored. And then I think we kind of took it away at the end. I think it was, the classic boxing analogy. We just kept hitting with a lot of body blows, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of too much for them. So, Yeah, but it was a good game. I was entertaining game for sure. I think the fans that were there were like, okay, we got some really good stuff going on. And you mentioned that hit that Fusco had. One of our partners that we're working with, the D-Zone, Cam Willer, posted that clip on the D-Zone the other day. It had 110,000 views. It's just cool. Good stuff. It was a lot of good fun. And so maybe Mr. Fusco can talk about that. He's going to be in the rookie booth later with Aubrey De La Brenna. So that's a segment we've got coming up. Cool stats, looking at just one thing that jumped out at me. Tyler Bruce, again, had a huge game, 3 touchdowns.
Awesome.
That guy just knows how to get open. And I specifically remember one play in the end zone. He was running a little curl wall route, and it was covered, and then he made a little zigzag, went back towards the middle, and Carter does what Carter does, threw it to a spot, and it looked like nobody was there. And I remember saying to Billy, that's a touchdown. And all of a sudden, Bruce comes out of nowhere and catches the ball. So it was, to me, it was a classic Alex Carter kind of move, classic Tyler Bruce touchdown right there. So that was really good. He led the team in yards as well, 62 yards, 3 touchdowns, followed by Tony Sock, had 2 touchdowns. And all in all, Alex Carter had 7 touchdowns on the night. So he threw for 8 touchdowns. My bad. Threw for 6 and ran for 2. So Mr. Carter had a pretty good game on the defensive side of the ball. Our special guest today, who Mr. Fusco is here not just because he had such a great game. Actually, our kicker Riley King is sick. And so I reached out to Josh, and he was so glad to come down. I'm so glad that he was able to come down and help us out tonight. But looking at his stats, it's a dang good reason he should be here. He led the team in tackles, also had an interception, and obviously the big hit that we talked about. So he did a great job. I think the biggest stat that you missed it at the game, is this interception right here.
Which one?
Do you see this one? This INT with a 2-yard return. I think he got hosed. If it was a 2.5-yard return, Armstrong would have got himself a touchdown. The big man had a pick. He was rumbling, stumbling all 2 yards, and then he fell over his big old feet. Didn't get in, but that was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool moment. Armstrong's been with us for a minute since the get-go. So I would love to see him score, but he's got opportunities coming up. So that's a little bit about our game. Around the AIF, the Wyoming Cavalry, CAV, not Calvary, which is very, even their announcer kept saying Calvary, but it's the Cavalry. They played the Central New York Blue Devils. They won 56-0. Cedar Rapids Titans, team that's coming into town. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. They won. They beat the Midwest Raptors 65-0. You watched both those games. I watched both those games. We were texting back and forth. Initial thoughts about Wyoming?
Wyoming, I thought, they were a better team that they were last year. I thought, they looked the part. Their D-line looked pretty good, in my opinion. There's more fans than I thought there would be, but I thought their play was, they were getting after it, and get a little chippy, obviously, but they were getting after it, and I think they'll come at you, and they'll they got a speedy running back too. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I thought I was impressed. I think the competition they were playing against, they were much better than initially right out of the gate, and that kind of showed. And then when you play feisty, you play physical, you play a little bit chippy. Those things were. That's why there's that big gap in the score there. Nothing against the Blue Devils, but I think they were outmatched. But I think they did a good job. The Cavalry they seemed to be pretty organized. They looked good. They looked the part. And I think it's going to be a great market. I think, they're going to do a good job with the fan base they've got going out there in Gillette. So I'm pretty excited about, what the direction that they're going. Cedar Rapids Raptors. Talk to me about your thoughts on that game.
People are going to think that I'm nuts, but I think Cedar Rapids is a lot like us in the fact of, they looked the part. They were well organized. They came out, did everything the same. Everything matched. Their staff was on point, on cue. The streamline maybe could have been from a different view, but overall it was awesome. It was good to see. They did a lot of production. Mm-hmm. That pillow fight was kind of cool. And some people didn't like it, but I thought it was kind of cool.
You seem like a pillow fight kind of guy.
I do, because
you and Stacy. Is that how that little
she kicked my ass in a pillow fight?
Is that a little bit of your flirting?
No, but
foreplay.
I think, thinking outside the box, they're doing a lot of things that they didn't maybe do last year, and they're trying. They had the tailgate party. They, everything to me looked good on paper and what I was seeing. I think they looked the part even with the guys on the field. I'm looking forward to playing them. I am looking forward to seeing our matchup. I think this is going to be one of those games like last year, and I wasn't going to go into it yet, but, so there's some fans that think, about our schedule and who we're playing. Last year we were at Cedar Rapids and we were 28-0. I mean, we didn't win that game until the last 30 seconds of the game.
2020, right? Yep.
We Terry Foster brought a team with the smoke that we lost we won in the last play of the game. We thought we were going to lose. We were down by 2 scores with like less than 2 minutes to go in the game. The Detroit Ravens, great game. We should have lost that game. I mean, you talk about our guys being focused and you can see it in their eyes ready to go. They know when it's go time. I'm just saying there's a lot of good stuff coming. This team right here, Cedar Rapids, is a huge part of us moving forward that we can gel with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think their ownership, talking with Mike, their owner took it over this past year. He and his wife are basically running it. It's kind of a passion project for them. They're doing a really good job. Rick Krantz, you hear from him a little bit later, hitting the 8 with Nate when I talked to their head coach. I think he's done a great job. You can tell that they were incredibly organized. That the players were physical. They were locked in. I think they've got some tremendous athletes. And to me, the telltale that they're doing some things right is when I was watching their stream, I was taking some notes and just writing some things down that they're doing, and it prompted ideas and stuff that we can do. And I think when teams are doing those type of things, and I'm talking like not necessarily the football piece, the on-field X's and O's, but just some of their production stuff, some of their community involvement, some of the way they promote things. It's great, and I think that to me says, okay, they were moving in the right direction. And so super excited to have them in town. I think they're going to be good.
I might have to wear a suit. I might have to wear a suit.
No.
I mean, when I saw Mike, I go, man, I am not doing my part. He looks badass. I might have to wear
He's a suit guy. You are not a suit guy. Birthday suit, maybe. I told you, man, like you maybe a tracksuit. Get that.
Yeah, I think their whole organization is great. I think it's gonna put us to get other teams joining that are a lot like us, and people can say what they want. And Nate's made very clear that I should stay off that social media stuff, but it really pisses me off sometimes, I'll be honest. But I'm doing a better job, and I think this is going to be good for everybody down the road.
Well, I think what's frustrating is that people don't see everything that goes into a game. You know what I mean? They don't see all the work. They don't see all the stuff that goes on. And when a team shows up that you expect to be a good football team, we looked at their roster. We know they had a bunch of good players. And now I'm referring back to our game this past week with the Muskies, and then they don't have uniforms that get caught up in customs. Is that true? Could be. I'm not saying, I think, we obviously looked into it since then, and I think they are caught up and they didn't make it here, and then the helmets not having the helmets they want. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating for us, and I think when people on social media make comments and, kind of attack us in those situations, it's frustrating.
That's the part that I'm pissed off.
But, I mean, I get it too, right? We've talked about that. Like, I get some of it that they're frustrated and we're frustrated. Our guys want to play great competition. They want to, get out there and replicate and play against what they're doing.
I would say our fan base, we've always said Muskegon's a little different, and I would challenge that to any city, like Wyoming and Cedar Rapids. I mean, nothing but love that they're getting, but our fans expect a little bit more, and that's a good thing.
And I think when we look into some of the critics that are out there, they're not Iron Nation. They're not from around here. You know what I mean? And when you look at that, and you're like, okay, this guy from
Arkansas still won't return my message. If you want to message me, I'm still waiting for your message. What team you play for?
So anyway, our fans are phenomenal. They're great, and I'm excited for them this upcoming week. Not this week, following week. Excited for them to come and see Cedar Rapids come to town. They're going to bring a great group, and it's going to be a heck of a football game.
Yep.
So, all right, we are shooting this live on a Wednesday night down here at Cadena Brothers Pizzeria. And we're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to come back with this week's edition of the Beat Mario Challenge. It is the Roo Destroyer Challenge. So we'll get into those details as soon as we come back.
Hi, my name's Steven Smitty. I am the owner of Under Par Golf, which is an indoor golf facility here in Muskegon, Michigan. We have over 85 different courses you can play. 6 screens, 5 flat, 1 curve. We got top golf games that you can play. We got some virtual mini golf courses, some fun little chipping games like darts, beer pong, cornhole. Just a fun guys' night, bachelor parties, company parties. You name it, we'll host it. We also do lessons, club building, club repair, fittings, you name it, anything about golf we're able to pretty much do here.
All right, we're back here live at Cadena Brothers Pizza on a Wednesday night, a couple weeks out to our next game on February 28th against the Cedar Rapids Titans. A Saturday night game. Super excited to get the Iron Nation out there on a Saturday night. We're going to pack that place and have a good time. So we are here with the Beat Mario Challenge. Got a member of the Iron Nation that's down here. What is your name?
Pam Cooper,
Pam Cooper. And who is this?
Mario Flores.
Mario Flores. I don't know why I did that.
Hey, does she get a point for that?
She gets an extra point right there. Okay, we are playing. We have some Iron Cash here for you that you can redeem if you beat Mario. I know there was a little bit of trash talking going on here just a second ago. So we called this the Roo Challenge. Okay, at one point in time there was all this discussion: how many kangaroos would it take to beat somebody up? This, that, and the other. So what we did, I went to AI, Billy's friend AI, and punched in all the mascots from the Arena Indoor Football League. Okay, so those mascots. So the challenge is this: if our mascot, the Ironmen, okay, as a mascot, stronger than average human being, had to fight kangaroos, how many kangaroos would it take to destroy the Ironmen? So I'm going to ask you. You'd give me a number. How many kangaroos it would take to destroy the Ironman? Pam Cooper's going to give me a number. How many kangaroos she thinks it would take to beat the Ironman? One Ironman, like our mascot. Okay.
Like a fist fight or in a football game?
Just a fist fight brawl. I think the prompt was, how many kangaroos would it take to destroy the Ironman mascot? All right. So here we go. Just to give you a reference, I did get this. I did get this information as well as a reference. On average, the adult kangaroo, especially a large male red kangaroo, can outclass the average man badly. They can be 6 feet tall when standing, kick with legs strong enough to seriously injure predators, balance on their tail like a tripod, wrestle like they've been training in an MMA fight since birth. So, hypothetically, if a man was to fight a kangaroo, it would take one kangaroo to destroy the average man. There's your reference. Now, the Ironmen, our logo, our mascot, is not the average man, nor any of these other mascots, right? Okay, so we're going to start with the Titans. Okay, we're going to start with the Titans. How many male kangaroos do you think it would take to destroy a Cedar Rapids Titan, the mascot?
1.
You think 1. Okay, now I would give you this reference. These are mascots. The Titans are a little bit stronger than a regular average man. You go with 1. All right.
10.
10. According to Billy's AI, 120 kangaroos it would take to beat a Titan. 120. Okay, so that's 1 point for Mario, correct?
I figured AI is wrong.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna ever see this really happen. Okay, how about the Ironmen? Our Ironmen logo, our mascot. Supercharged. Steel versus spring-loaded chaos. The Ironmen are built to last, cold, relentless, unbreakable, but kangaroos don't care about the armor. They care about numbers. This one's going to be a grind, folks. Expect sparks, dents, and a pile that just keeps on coming. That was the promo for it. Who wants to go first?
275.
275.
360.
360. The answer is 110. 110 kangaroos. So the Titans, according to kangaroo lore, they're 10 kangaroos stronger than we are. That's okay. How about this one? Flash and fast and slippery, but there's nowhere to swim tonight. The Muskies dart and dodge, but the Roos are closing in from every angle. This is a speed run showdown, but once the hops surround the fish, it's feeding time. How many kangaroos would it take to beat the muskie mascot? Pam?
180.
180. You want to think your guess over again?
45.
45. All right, Mr. Flores.
One.
Oh, it's 45. Pam got it right.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Right on the dot. She might win that cash anyway. All right, Pam's got one. Mario's got one. Our next AIF mascot is the Drillers, the Odessa Drillers. Hard hats on, folks. This one's going to get loud. The Drillers bring raw power and goal-rattling force, clearing space with every strike. But the Kangaroos keep on coming, wave after wave. Can the blue-collar grit outlast pure chaos? We're going to find out.
Are they from Texas?
They're from Texas, your Odessa Drillers. How many Kangaroos do you think, Mario?
80.
80. Okay, what do you think?
36.
36. Mario got it on the head. 80. He got it right on the head. I think he got into my printer today. And I think he may have looked at that one. Did you cheat?
No. Well, I might play that number. Is there a two-digit number you can
All
play?
right, the cavalry, not the cavalry, not the hill. Okay, the cavalry. Order versus mayhem. The cavalry charge with discipline and precision, holding the line like seasoned warriors. But watch closely, because once the formation breaks, the Reeds flood in. This matchup is all about how long Control can survive against top-powered board. What do you think here? We're going to make this one worth 3 points, so you have a chance to win. Who's going first?
42.
42.
37.
37? 65. 65. Man, wins again. He got 4 points. We're going to give Pam a bonus point just because she's wearing an Iron Man hoodie. So, final score.
And hat.
And a hat.
And a hat. Another bonus point. Didn't help. You still lost 4-3.
Well, she still wins this.
She's still, you're going to give her a You're a good guy. So, that's the Beat Mario Challenge. Mario is now 2-0 on the season. I think next week he's going to fall. So we'll be right back after this with Aubrey in the rookie booth.
Spring fever is hit at Baton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC Buick in Muskegon. Shake the winter blues with spring-ready prices. Drive home a 2026 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss 4x4, only $299 a month. Or lease a 2026 Chevy Trailblazer LT, just $289 a month. Plus, we're paying you top dollar for your trade. Catch spring fever behind the wheel of a new ride with Baton Muskegon. Shop BatonGM.com. Together, let's drive to Henry Street, Muskegon.
All right, we are back here at Cadena Brothers Pizzeria in downtown Fruitport. Not really downtown Fruitport. I'm not sure if Fruitport has a downtown. We have a village, downtown the village. Anyway, we're at Cadena Brothers Pizza every Wednesday, shooting the Forge Podcast live. All you can eat pizza, best pizza around. Make sure you stop down here and join us sometimes. Coming out of that little Roo challenge, a little random there. Obviously, if there were 110 kangaroos trying to fight our mascot, things would get a little messy and ugly and a little dirty and disastery. And if that happens to you, I want you to reach out to one of our partners, Complete Restoration and Cleaning Services. Bam, right here. When disaster strikes, call the pros at Complete Restoration and Cleaning. From fire and water damage to mold and full service cleaning, they're ready to go 24/7 to restore your home and business quickly and professionally. And their number one priority, making sure that every customer knows they care, and they'll do the absolute best job they can every single time. Complete Restoration and Cleaning, restoring property and peace of mind. We're glad they're one of our partners, and obviously if there was a root challenge like that, they would be the first people we would call to clean things up. Now, we're going to jump over here to our intern, Aubrey, or as I like to call her, Oscar de la Hoya sometimes, but Aubrey de la Brenna, over here in the rookie booth.
This is the rookie booth with Aubrey.
Hi, I'm Aubrey, and today I'm here in the rookie booth.
Whoa. I'm not a rookie.
All right, let's redo this. Hi, I'm Aubrey, and today I'm here in the veterans booth. Today I'm here with...
Josh Winsco.
In what position do you play?
I play safe.
How long have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 8 or 9 years old.
Who do you think is your inspiration while you're growing up?
I'd have to say my dad. He was kind of there step by step with me throughout, the whole process with, sports, weightlifting, school, all that stuff. So, he was just a big supporter of me and, guided me through.
What made you continue your career with football?
I actually reached out to Ethan after college, finished up college, was kind of out for a couple months. Saw that the Ironman were a thing. I didn't even know anything about it. And then, I reached out to Ethan. Was like, hey, man, I'm still trying to continue. I just love the game so much that, I just wanted to continue to play as much as I could. So, he reached back out, got me an opportunity, and, I ran with it. So,
What advice would you give someone who looks up to you?
Just stay consistent and, always compete in everything that you do. I feel like, in every aspect of your life, a competition in somewhere. So, be that best man, put that front foot forward and, just keep moving. So.
How do you think you played last game, and how do you think you're going to improve for this next one?
I thought I played all right. Obviously that big hits, going viral and all that good stuff. But, I felt like I did my responsibilities. When I could shine, I shined. And then, I felt like I could help out my teammates as best I could. So I felt like it was pretty solid.
What are your goals for the rest of the season?
I want to go back to back. Everybody wants to win, a ring, and I feel like everybody's coming for us. But, I want to get number 2, fill out the hand as much as possible. So,
What's your pregame routine?
I always eat Jimmy John's. I ride up there with Tony Sock. Me and him kind of live in the same area, so right up there, get some Jimmy John's. I throw on some Taylor Swift, T-Swift, kind of my thing. Running up there. So, listen to that and kind of shake things off.
And do you have any last words for the viewers?
Pop out. We got a good game coming up, and I think it's going to be a great competition and a great showing. So, be there.
What the heck? Thank you for coming out. We'll be back with the Forge podcast after our sponsors.
Go with Mario, go with Mario. Rates are down, the time is right. Make your move and sleep real nice tonight.
Hey, it's Mario Flores with Van Dyke Mortgage. New phones, new toys, new TVs, but nothing shines brighter than a brand new home.
Go with Mario.com and let those home dreams glow.
Have you ever experienced true romance in the form of pizza? Let me take you to Cadena Brothers, where every bite is like a love song for your taste buds. You'll fall head over heels for our cheesy masterpieces, savory pasta dishes, and wings so good they'll steal your heart. At Cadena Brothers, it's not just dinner, it's a love affair with flavor. So, what do you say? Let's make tonight unforgettable.
And we're back.
All right, final shot here at Cadena Brothers, the Forge podcast. Again, we'll be shooting this again next week, Wednesday. Come on down. We're giving away some prizes. We had Pam Cooper that was on here in the Beat Mario Challenge. She's walking away with some cash and a nice full belly with some great pizza. So come on down and join us. We'll have some giveaways, especially we'll have some tickets to give away for the game next week. So make sure you kind of put that in your calendar and come on down and join us. So kind of winding things up, wrapping the podcast up, kind of finished with what's one thing that you learned today, Billy?
I learned a lot. I learned that kangaroos are really strong. It takes a lot of kangaroos to beat mascots.
Yes.
One man easily beaten, but not the mascots. I thought it would take more to beat the Iron Man, obviously, but not bad. I also learned that we've got some good competition coming. So if you don't have your tickets, you need to get your tickets because this game is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a good game for sure. And we'll talk a little bit more about the preview of that game next week and some predictions and different things like that. So a couple things I learned. I think there was some kangaroo stuff that I learned in prepping that stuff, and the idea that they're 6 foot tall. And I didn't realize they were that tall. I thought they were all little fellas, And I also realized I really struggle saying the word remediation. And I struggled so much that in between breaks I looked up how to pronunciate it because that threw me for a loop. But Iron Nation, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope you tune in next week. We'll have an expanded, a little bit of addition next week. We'll have a couple players here. We'll have a sponsor here with us. And yeah, we're looking forward to Cedar Rapids coming to town in a couple of weeks. Should be a really good game. Iron Nation, stay strong.
Endorse.